talk about Palfish. I've been teaching on Palfish for 4 months, and people don't seem to understand exactly what it is. So today we are going to talk about Palfish. What is it? How does it work? We are going to talk a little bit about how you make money on the app, how you get paid, what it's like compared to other online teaching platforms, how much I make, and my review of it. So the pros and the cons of teaching on Palfish. So let's start. So for those of you who are very new to the online teaching world, what is Palfish? Palfish is a one-on-one teaching app. You basically just download it onto your iPhone or Android. Children in China pay to use the app, and then native English speakers teach 25-minute classes to these students of all ages to earn income. So how do we earn that income? There are basically 2 ways to earn money on Palfish. One is the Palfish Free Talk. So this is where you teach English to students of basically any age, and a lot of these students are adults. For the Free Talk, there's no curriculum, so you can talk about pretty much anything, hobbies, travel, whatever you'd like. The aim of this side of the app is to help people improve their conversational English. And then the second way to earn money on Palfish is the official kids course. So this is really the way to make money on the app, considering Free Talk doesn't pay all that well. And then the official kids course is a legitimate job, so you would need to apply to this job through an application and then do a teaching demo, which there are plenty of YouTube videos about. And then if you pass the entire application process, then you are a Palfish official kids course teacher. So like I said earlier, the official kids course is a one-on-one teaching platform where you can do trials with students who are new to the app, and then hopefully build a regular client base of your regular students who just come to you to learn English. So how does the official kids course pay you? The official kids course is unique because it operates on a monthly tier system, which is kind of both a pro and a con, but we're going to talk about that later. So here is the point system. This pay that I'm about to talk about is based on completing a 25-minute class. So 0 points is level 1, and with 0 points you make 51 per class. And then if you're on time for the class, which you should be, you'll get a 5-1 bonus. So pretty much you're making 55-1 per class. Once you reach 300 points, you're at level 2, and this is a 55-1 base rate, and then still the 5-1 bonus for being on time to class. 700 points gets you to level 3, which is the 61 base rate, and then 5-1 for the bonus. 1100 points is level 4, which is a 65-1 base rate, and then 1500 points is level 5, which is a 71 base rate. Again, this is all based on a 25-minute class. You can pretty much earn points for any reason, and you can lose points for some reasons as well. So the list is pretty long, and I will show it here. But for example, you get 5 points for finishing a class. You can get 20 points for not being late for an entire month. 20 points for no absences. If you teach a trial and you sell a package, which means your student or your student's family bought a full package on the app after taking your trial, then you earn 20 points. But you can also lose points on the system. So some reasons that you would lose points are like canceling a class within 24 hours, which loses you 5 points. If you're absent for a class, you lose 20 points. And again, this list is very long, but once you're accepted to the official kids course, it's very clearly lined out for you. So to be clear, I've had a couple people ask me like, oh, is online teaching a scam? No, it's not. You're always going to make money. So even if you had 10 points, even if you had 0 points, you're still making 51 per 25-minute class, or 55-1 if you were on time, which you should be. So in Canada, that's pretty good. That's about $10.22 per class. And of course this will fluctuate, but yeah, you're averaging on about just a little over than $20 an hour for the lowest pay rate. It's not an MLM, it's just a job where you get paid for your time. So I just want to make that clear. Online teaching is not a pyramid scheme, it's just a job you get paid per basically half an hour. So how do you get paid? This is something that bothers some people. It doesn't bother me at all. But to get paid on Palfish, you do have to register through their preferred payment system, which is called Payoneer. Some people get Payoneer bank cards, so they just use that as their debit card and they don't have to pay the exchange rate to their normal bank. I just transfer the money every month to my normal bank account. I don't really care about the little bit of exchange rate that I lose. But yes, you have to sign up with Payoneer after you're accepted to the official kids course in order to get paid. And then your payments get drawn out of your account on the 1st of every month. It does take a few days to process, but you should never receive your money after the 7th day of the month. And yes, you get paid monthly, so you get paid once a month by the 7th day of the month. Your points that you've accumulated from the past month will influence your pay for this month. So if I made it to level 4 in September, that means in November is when I start to get paid this 65 won base rate. Again, this is clearly lined out for you once you get accepted to the official kids course. So everyone's always like trying to like level up right before the end of the month so that your pay rate can be higher for the next month, and then it resets. People have asked me this before, like how hard is it to get to level 4 or level 5? Level 5 in my experience has been very hard to reach. I actually use Palfish only, and it is my main source of income. I made it to level 4 within the first month that I was working, but I'm usually sitting at like level 3. And I make my points basically by just teaching a lot of classes. So you open up your schedule for 2 weeks in advance, and then people can book you from there. There's no penalization if you have to cancel a class that is more than 24 hours in advance. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of flexibility there. There are some rules about how many slots you do have to have open per month. But for example, we just took a road trip across Canada for the past week. So I booked the entire time off and it was completely fine. So there's a lot of flexibility on Palfish, like making your own hours, but we'll talk about hours very soon. What makes Palfish different than other online teaching platforms? So there are a lot of online teaching platforms. You might have heard of some of them. The most popular ones are like VipKid, Magic Ears, Data ABC. There's just a few different structural things and pros and cons of all of them. The thing that makes Palfish different is that you do it from your phone. You can also do it from an iPad or a tablet, but yes, it's not recommended that you do it from a computer. That's because there are filters that they really want to push for you to use on the app, and they are only compatible with a phone or an iPad. The filters are like similar to Snapchat or whatever. The other thing that makes Palfish different is that you do not currently need a bachelor's degree to teach on the app. So a lot of these apps require you to have a 4-year bachelor's degree, and Palfish does not. And to talk about the filters again for a second, they call it AR, and they seem to be pretty proud of them with their marketing and on Palfish. Because it's on your phone, I find that the screen is actually like pretty small, so your background doesn't have to be as big. Like on all of these online teaching platforms, you will have to make a background to make it look like your own unique classroom, which I just made mine out of like construction paper and printing a couple things off, and it cost me maybe $3. But I do like the size of the classroom, how you can make it pretty small, and it requires less prep work in that way, if that makes sense. Palfish also works a little bit like social media. So the app itself actually looks very similar to Instagram. Your activity and your popularity on the app will increase your amount of bookings. Okay, camera died, sorry. Where was I? Your TEFL certificate. You can get it online on Groupon, or there's even a free one that you can get that will work for Palfish. The one thing is that you do need a certificate number, so make sure that whatever institution you're getting it from can provide you with a certificate number so that you can add it in your application form. You also must be a native English speaker from the following countries: Canada, the US, Australia, the UK, or New Zealand. I think maybe Ireland too. Unfortunately, they do not accept native English speakers from very many other countries, so as much as I don't agree with that, I don't make the rules, I'm just telling them to you right now. And then the last requirement is having an iOS or Android phone with a stable Wi-Fi connection. So if you're someone from one of these countries and you have a phone basically, you can teach on Palfish. That's pretty much as easy as it is. And then of course you need to pass the application process, which, like I said, there are a lot of videos on YouTube that outline exactly how to do this, and I will probably make one myself. So what do I think about Palfish and what are the pros in my opinion? I'd say that the pay is actually pretty competitive. I find it pretty easy to reach level 3 or 4 if you're teaching as many hours as you can. I usually teach anywhere between 3 and 6 hours a day. And level 4 is about $26 an hour Canadian, which is way higher than our minimum wage. So even taking a full-time job, 8 hours a day, you know, at $14, $15 an hour, you're making nearly double working half the amount of hours. So I actually consider the pay to be very good. And then speaking of hours, of course, a pro of teaching online in general is being able to work your own hours. So you can open and close time slots basically as you please. And as long as you're not canceling classes within 24 hours, there is no penalization. If you want to take a week off, you can. If you want to only open 5 slots a week, you can do that as well. If you even want to work full-time, and that is your goal to work on Palfish full-time, you can certainly go for it. The next thing that I consider a pro is that you don't need a computer to teach on Palfish. So I have a laptop, obviously I make videos and I just have a laptop. But a lot of people don't, so you don't have to have a laptop. Most people do have a phone, so you can just do it from your smartphone. Of course, not needing a bachelor's degree is a really big pro for a lot of people. Another pro about Palfish is that there's many additional ways to make money on the app. So if you do live shows and people pay for them, which a lot of people do for free at first because it's a really good way to gain popularity and traction. Gaining popularity on the app can be really helpful to increase your bookings. And you can also create your own lessons that people can buy. So some people have been really successful with creating their own lessons and then people sell them as a package or individually and then people pay to view it. Another thing that I really like about Palfish is that there's actually a really good community of teachers, a lot of Facebook groups. Even within the app, there are mentor groups, and there are a ton of Palfish mentors that are willing to help you basically succeed on the app. Even sometimes if you had a tough morning, a lot of people are canceling, people will post in the Facebook groups and just be like, hey, is anyone experiencing this today? And just have a chat with other, teachers that are doing the same job as you. So what are the cons? So this is what I want to talk about when people say, oh, you can make your own hours with online teaching. And as much as that's sort of true, it sort of isn't. So yes, you can open and close your time slots, you can give your availability, and then people can book you from there. That said, you simply need to be online and available to teach when the students in China want to learn. So a lot of them do this after school, or some of them do it in the morning before school. And then of course the weekends are really popular as well. For example, with me living in British Columbia, which is on the west coast of Canada, I would have to wake up really early. Some of my classes started at 2 o'clock in the morning because I was trying to book myself in all of the peak hours on Palfish. And then I was teaching again from 4 p.m. till 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So my hours were kind of all over the place. Right now I'm living in Eastern Standard Time, so I'm 3 hours ahead, so it's a little easier, but I'm still waking up and teaching by 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm getting up around 4 to get ready. So the hours are a bit of a con, but it's not necessarily just for Palfish, but this con is more directed to online teaching in general because if you do want to be successful and you do want to have a lot of bookings, you are going to have to simply, again, be available at the time that students are available to learn. They're in school for whatever 8 hours of the day, so you simply cannot teach them when they are already in school. The next criticism that I have about Palfish is that you have to complete after-class evaluations after every single class that you do, and these are not paid for. The amount of time that it takes me to write these evaluations, say I had 8 classes in the morning, and it takes me 5 to 10 minutes to write an after-class report for each of them, the time is going to add up and that's unpaid time. But you could argue that since you're paid for 25 minutes, then the 5 minutes after that you are doing your after-class reports. So technically if you teach 2 classes and then do your after-class reports within 5 minutes each, then you're only really filling the hour. But yeah, sometimes they take a couple minutes to come in and I'm already prepping for my next class and I need to be at my next class 2 minutes early to just be prepared. So yeah, I find myself writing my evaluations for half an hour after I'm done my whole morning. And I am not paid for that. So I make about $1,500 to $2,000 USD a month, and that's me committing to this one platform basically full-time. And for me, the flexibility of being able to work from home is actually just super well worth it because for me personally, I have time to, do my writing and do other things. I'm a highly creative person, so I want time and space to be able to do that on my own. And I know for a lot of people on the app, they are stay-at-home moms or dads, so they want time to be able to spend with their kids, which makes total sense. So for me, being able to bring in about $2,000 a month while just working on my phone is very worth it. So now hopefully you have a better idea of how Palfish actually works. In the next couple of videos, I'm going to break down how to pass your interview and how to increase bookings on the app. So make sure to keep posted here for those videos. Anyways, good luck and happy teaching.